10 gemstones with artistic eye inclusions. Some gemstones sparkle, others shine, but a rare few do something different. They watch. Inside them, nature has drawn something profound. Eyes not painted, not carved, but grown through time, pressure, mineral alignment, and a bit of geological luck. These are the gemstones with artistic eye inclusions, and this is a journey through the 10 most captivating among them. Don't forget to press and hold that like button, leave a comment, and hit subscribe before we begin. Ranked 10th, Malachite, Earth's Eye, etched in stone. Malachite, a stone that doesn't need light to imitate an eye. Its magic is embedded in its very structure. Formed over thousands of years by copper-rich waters flowing through limestone, malachite builds itself layer by layer, band by band. It leaves behind bold, swirling patterns, rich greens, nested circles, hypnotic rings that look drawn by Earth's hand. Some resemble watchful eyes. Others look like the growth rings of trees, or even alien retinas peering from another world. Its eyes are not illusions. They are real, not a trick of the light, not a reflection. However, visible tactile patterns are formed by nature with zero human interference. Historically, this uniqueness made it sacred. The Egyptians ground it into protective eye paint. In Imperial Russia, blocks weighing over 40,000 pounds were carved into thrones and cathedral columns. Even today, some say malachite can absorb negative energy, and that its eyes are watching over those who wear it. Yet despite its spiritual strength, malachite is fragile, just 3.5 to 4 on the Mohs scale. It's soft, sensitive, and easily damaged by chemicals or heat. It's a stone that demands care, but gives back character. So while other eye stones may flash and dazzle, malachite doesn't pretend. It shows you everything. Its patterns, its past, its imperfections. Stare into it long enough, and it stares right back. That's why malachite earns its place among the world's top 10 gemstones with artistic eye inclusions. Not just for what it reflects, but for what it reveals. Ranked 9th, Agate Eye, the silent watcher carved by Earth itself. Agate Eye is one of nature's most beautiful geological coincidences. From the outside, it may look like a simple banded stone. But pause, look again. You'll notice something strange. A perfect circle, sometimes several, nested like ripples in a pond or the rings of a distant planet. These are not scratches. They're not painted. They are natural concentric silica bands formed over millions of years as mineral-rich water flowed through volcanic rock and left behind layers, like brushstrokes, of chalcedony and quartz. Most agate is irregular. The bands twist, flow, and undulate with no pattern. But occasionally, under just the right geological conditions, something extraordinary happens. A circular formation appears, eerily symmetrical, staring back like a pupil surrounded by stone. These formations are called agate eyes. They don't shimmer or shine. They don't need to. They grab your attention not with brilliance, but with presence. Some look human, some seem alien. All feel like they're watching. Collectors call them nature's watchers. In regions like Brazil and India, where large agate deposits are common, locals sometimes believe these stones offer protection. That one stone eye can ward off another, a shield against the so-called evil eye. It's both mystical and oddly logical, a stone that sees what we don't. Some of the largest agate eyes ever found stretch over 10 inches across, cut into round slabs or polished into orbs that sit silently on collectors' shelves, and yet somehow still feel alive. So next time you see a simple stone with a ring in the center, don't just glance, look back. It might just be looking at you. Ranked 8th, Rainbow Obsidian, the hidden eye of the volcano. It doesn't sparkle. It waits, silent and unassuming, until the light hits it just right. Then suddenly it opens its eyes. Rainbow Obsidian is a volcanic glass that was born from fire and cooled into stillness. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a polished black stone, but turn it even slightly and a hidden glow awakens. Green, purple, bronze, and gold bands intertwine under the surface. Like the shifting eye of some sleeping ancient spirit, it's not a surface illusion. It's not paint. That glow lives inside the stone itself, created by microscopic layers of volcanic gas trapped during rapid cooling. You see light refracting through millennia of solidified lava. Nature's glass, sculpted by time and pressure. But the most haunting feature of rainbow obsidian is what collectors call the eye. In rare formations, these colored bands arrange themselves into concentric, circular patterns, forming what looks uncannily like a watchful iris. The effect is mesmerizing. When polished into spheres or cabochons, the eye follows you. As you move, it shifts, stares. It's a gemstone that doesn't sit still, but interacts with you. And no two are alike. Most rainbow obsidian is sourced from volcanic regions of Mexico and the American Southwest. A polished sphere about the size of a baseball may weigh around 2 pounds, but it feels heavier in the hand, like it carries something ancient. These stones aren't flashy. They're meditative, mysterious, and don't beg for attention. They reward those who take the time to notice. Ranked 7th, Hawk's Eye, the stone of focus, vision, and stormlight. At first glance, it's often mistaken for tiger's eye. After all, they're geological siblings. But Hawk's Eye has a soul all its own. Instead of golden warmth, it wears a cloak of steel blue, smoky gray, and inky black, colors that shift like storm clouds caught in motion. Its signature comes from a phenomenon known as chatoyancy, or the cat's eye effect. Long ago, the stone was laced with fibers of chrysolite, needle-thin mineral strands that, over millennia, were replaced by quartz. But the structure of those threads remained, and that's why, when light moves across its polished surface, a silky beam glides with it, like a blade of light moving through a shadow. In premium specimens, that line is razor sharp, shifting with your every move, just like the silent precision of a hawk's gaze as it zeroes in on its prey. Sourced primarily from South Africa, India, and Western Australia, most Hawk's Eye stones are shaped into cabochons to maximize their chatoyant effect. A polished piece about 2 inches wide might weigh just a few ounces, but it feels heavier, not physically but energetically. It has presence, purpose, and a kind of grounded intensity. What makes Hawk's Eye truly unforgettable isn't just its movement or color, it's its mood. It doesn't perform, it doesn't flash, it's still, aware, timeless. It gives the sensation that something ancient is observing you, quietly, patiently, waiting for you to notice. Its beauty doesn't demand attention, it rewards it. Ranked 6th, Tiger's Eye, focus, power, and the art of stillness. Tiger's eye is not with glitter or fire, but with precision, like the stare of something wild, ancient, and waiting to strike. This isn't a gemstone that tries to impress with color. It captivates with presence, with power. You've seen it, bands of golden brown flowing across a polished surface. But you haven't met it until you've tilted it in your hand. Watch that silky beam of light glide across it like a watchful eye. That effect is called chatoyancy, from the French chatoyer, meaning to shimmer like a cat's eye. Inside the stone are millions of tiny parallel fibers, once chrysolite, now fossilized in quartz, forming a single sharp line of light that shifts with your every move. And just like a tiger, it doesn't blink. Found mainly in South Africa, Western Australia, and India, tiger's eye is typically cut into cabochons to emphasize its optical effect. A 2 to 3 inch palm-sized piece may weigh just a few ounces, but in your hand, it feels heavier. Not physically, but energetically. It feels like something ancient, something intentional. What makes tiger's eye unforgettable is not just how it looks, it's how it feels. It's the quiet before action, the awareness before movement. It doesn't distract, it observes. It doesn't shine to be seen, it shines to warn you. Among the top 10 gemstones with artistic eye inclusions, tiger's eye is perhaps the most iconic, not only because of its mesmerizing visual effect, but because of its message. Stay sharp, stay steady, stay silent until it's time. Ranked 5th, Enstatite cat's eye, the disciplined stone that watches silently. This is Enstatite cat's eye, a stone that doesn't dazzle, it calculates. Initially, you might not think much of it. It might appear unimpressive, a smoky brown or olive green crystal with a matte luster. But hold it under the right light, and something extraordinary happens. A razor-thin beam of light slices across its surface like a surgical line, clean, straight, and focused. This is chatoyancy, the cat's eye effect. But unlike chrysoberyl's soft shimmer, enstatite's impact is colder, tenser, and more disciplined. A line that doesn't dance, it cuts. Geologically, enstatite belongs to the pyroxene mineral group, and its chatoyan effect is created by parallel fibrous structures deep within the stone. Most high-quality specimens come from Sri Lanka, Madagascar, and Myanmar. These gems are small, usually no more than 25 millimeters wide, weighing just a few carats. But the impact is unforgettable when the eye line is sharp and perfectly centered. Enstatite doesn't offer color play or iridescence. It offers focus. It's the kind of gemstone that collectors value not for flash, but for restraint. It's often called the discipline stone, believed to bring clarity, mental stillness, and protection against manipulation. Ancient in composition, yet surgical in energy, it sits in your hand like a weapon sheathed in silence. Its power lies not in commanding attention, but in controlling it. This gem does not reveal everything at once. It rewards those who look carefully, think clearly, and move deliberately. Ranked fourth, Fibrolite, Sillimanite cat's eye. The cat's eye for those who see in silence. Fibrolite, also known as Sillimanite cat's eye. It might seem understated. Soft olive greens, muted browns, or pale golden tones. Nothing flamboyant, but under the right angle of light, something remarkable happens. A razor-sharp line of light appears across its surface, gliding with silent accuracy. This is chatoyancy, the cat's eye effect. And in Sillimanite, it's one of the most subtle and refined expressions of that natural optical phenomenon. Geologically, Sillimanite belongs to the aluminosilicate family, a close relative to kyanite and andalusite. The name Fibrolite comes from its fibrous structure, the very feature that creates its optical line. These stones are rare, with gem-quality specimens primarily found in Sri Lanka, India, and Myanmar. Most are cut into small cabochons, rarely more than an inch wide. But when the line is centered, crisp, and floating evenly across the surface, the effect is mesmerizing. Not because it shouts, but because it cuts through stillness like a whispered truth. Fibrolite isn't a gem for the spotlight. It doesn't belong on red carpets or trend lists. But for those who know, gem collectors, precision jewelers, seekers of spiritual clarity, it's a stone that resonates deeply. Some say it represents mental discipline. Others believe it enhances decision-making and clarity under pressure. Whatever you think, there's no denying that this stone embodies control, restraint, and quiet power. While others mesmerize with light play and color, this one speaks through silence. It doesn't try to be seen, but you can't look away once you notice it. Ranked third, Star Sapphire, a celestial miracle trapped in stone. Most gemstones catch the light, but Star Sapphire is different. It sends light back like a star. At first glance, it looks modest, an opaque, dome-shaped gem with a soft luster. But once light strikes its surface, something magical happens. A glowing six-rayed star appears, perfectly centered, floating just above the stone. As you tilt it, the star moves with you, shifting subtly but never losing focus, as if the stone is alive and watching. This optical effect is called asterism, caused by microscopic rudal inclusions aligned in three symmetrical directions inside the stone. When light hits these internal fibers, it reflects outward as a star. It's not artificial. It's not a trick. It's a miracle of precision, formed deep underground over millions of years through heat, pressure, and perfect alignment. True star sapphires are rare. The finest specimens come from Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Madagascar. They're always cut as high dome cabochons, because faceting would scatter the light, destroying the star. A well-cut star sapphire as small as 5 carats can be worth more than a transparent sapphire twice its size. Not because it shines more, but because it reveals more. While other stones mimic the eye through lines, layers, or patterns, this one becomes the eye, ever-centered, radiant, and aware. It doesn't sparkle like a diamond or flash like an opal. It glows with something quieter, deeper, like destiny whispering in light. Ranked second, star ruby. Nature's most precise optical illusion. Star ruby doesn't just burn, it glows with something cosmic, something ancient. Beneath its smooth, uncut surface lies a secret that only reveals itself under the right light. A six-rayed star, perfectly centered, hovering just above the stone's surface like a celestial signature. This isn't an illusion. Asterism is a rare optical phenomenon caused by tiny hair-like, rudal inclusions arranged in three intersecting directions. When light hits just right, those inclusions reflected outward as a luminous star that moves with you, tracks you, and never fades. Star ruby is always cut as a high-dome cabochon, designed not to sparkle, but to reveal. The best stones come from Myanmar, Sri Lanka, and India, with body colors ranging from deep crimson to purplish wine. But what separates an ordinary ruby from a genuine star ruby is more than the color, its presence. The sharpness of the star, the symmetry, the way the light line holds steady, like a pulse. Some stones command value by carat weight. Star ruby commands it through rarity. A gem as small as 5 carats, if the star is crisp and centered, can be more desirable than rubies 10 times larger. It isn't just a gemstone, it's a phenomenon frozen in corundum. Star ruby is a literal star etched by nature's precision. It doesn't mimic an eye, it creates one, eternal, fixed. So when you hold a faithful star ruby, you're not just having a stone, you're holding a map, a compass carved in fire and pressure, and maybe, just maybe, your constellation. In the first place, cat's eye, Chrysoberyl, nature's most precise optical illusion. Some stones shine, some glow, but cat's eye Chrysoberyl does something no other gemstone quite can. It watches you. What sets this gem apart isn't just its optical beauty, but the sheer precision of that beauty. When appropriately cut into a high-dome cabochon, a razor-sharp, silver-white line of light emerges across its surface. This is chatoyancy, the cat's eye effect. But in Chrysoberyl, it's executed with such perfection that it looks unreal. The line glides effortlessly as the stone moves, splitting the surface into light and shadow in a phenomenon known as the milk and honey effect. It's as if the stone has blinked, alive, aware, and intentional. The secret lies in its internal structure. Perfectly aligned rudal fibers that reflect light back in a focused beam without special lighting. This is where cat's eye Chrysoberyl rises far above other chatoyan stones. While other gems display the effect weakly or inconsistently, Chrysoberyl delivers clarity, control, and consistency. It doesn't shimmer, it slices. It doesn't just hint at an eye, it is the eye-centered, still, and unblinking. Most high-quality specimens come from Sri Lanka and Brazil. A well-cut stone weighing just 6 to 10 carats can command prices upward of $10,000. Not because it flashes color or brilliance, but because it embodies focus. Unlike many luxury stones, cat's eye Chrysoberyl isn't about spectacle, it's about presence. Its aesthetic is subtle, surgical, and deeply intentional. This is why cat's eye Chrysoberyl sits firmly at number 1 among the top 10 gemstones with artistic eye inclusions, not for being the most colorful or dramatic, but for being the most precise, the most focused, the most alive. Where other stones create visual effects, Chrysoberyl creates a gaze. It doesn't ask to be admired, it demands to be understood. These 10 gemstones remind us that nature doesn't just make beauty, it makes meaning. Each eye tells a different story, some about clarity, some about protection, others about fate. They don't just shine, they see. They invite you to slow down, observe, and wonder. What is this stone looking at? And more importantly, what does it see in you? Let us know which resonates with you in the comments, And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this.